Right. Let's check the knight changes first. First of all, we got a 5% nerf to Blood Rage. Well, 5% absolute nerf. It's actually more like a 20% nerf. There's a 5% nerf from 30 to 25. Pretty significant. You lose 5% of your extra skill. It's pretty significant. It's not huge, but it is definitely significant. You've got the battle healing multiplier reduced from 3 to 2. So instead of being tripled, it's doubled. I feel like this was, it wasn't the go-to perk on like mid levels because you wanted to go for Executioner's Throw or Combat Mastery. So this probably not going to be like, crazy impactful to most people. If you were going for like a super tanky team hunting build, you may have picked that up a little bit earlier. I think it's probably fair. I do think like triple multiplier was a little crazy. It made EKs a little bit too immortal, maybe. Then we've got a combat mastery, which, by the way, when I first looked at it, I was like, oh, it went from 12% to 14%. Nice buff. They actually buffed the combat mastery, but then when you think about it, it's actually the percentage of health that the monster needs to like lose, or you need to have lost to benefit from it. So it is actually a nerf, right? It's about give or take a 20% nerf of combat mastery. Still good, but now you're probably even more so interested in Executioner's Throw, which hasn't been nerfed. Then we have the healing spells, mana cost adjustments. This is expected. Like this is the one we definitely expected. Adjustments to the mana cost, they were too cheap. So intense wound cleansing from 200 to 300. You cast this every 2 seconds, well at most. So this is approximately like 3k mana. 3k mana increase per minute if you're spamming this spell. Significant. That is a significant mana increase if you are spamming this spell. Will it be game breaking? Probably not. So yeah, I mean, these changes are okay. Xori Min not touched, I find surprising. I think the next set of nerfs, if they happen, Xori Min is definitely going to get hit. This affects like scaling for EK. Like this was a very, very good bonus, like end game. Now you're kind of losing it. So scaling EKs hit a bit. Also with Blood Rage, scaling EKs got hit quite a bit. Ultimately, I don't know. Not like huge nerfs or anything. If I was an EK, I'd be looking at this thing. Yeah, okay. It is what it is. Gameplay doesn't really change very much. I don't think the builds change very much. Largely okay, I think. Thank you very much for the Prime sub, Danny. Yeah, okay. So that's EK. I mean, EK, yeah, nerfed. Ultimately, probably not going to be a huge deal, right? Maybe like a 2-3% nerf to the EK at most, right? The Utito is probably the one that just affects everything, right? It's gonna have 5% less skill. Significant, but probably not the end of the world. Okay, so now let's go and see Paladin. First, we've got nerfs to Divine Defiance, which reduces your dodge from 15 to 12. This I'm a little bit surprised about. I don't think the dodge was a problem. I actually like Divine Defiance being like the more defensive stance. I didn't think the dodge was the issue. But yeah, this is expected. Magic level bonus reduced from 7.5 to 6. That's what, a 20% nerf of the magic level bonus. Kind of expected. On the other hand of the stances, we've got Sharpshooter, the skill bonus reduced from 40 to 32, which again is a 20% nerf. So Sharpshooter and Divine Defiance both got nerfed by 20%. Stances, I kind of expected that they will be nerfed. So yeah, 20% stance nerf. Then we've got some base damage nerf on Divine Caldera, about 6% base damage nerf, but you get a little bit more back in the wheel. And then Divine Barrage looks like about maybe a 7% base damage nerf. What I'm really quite surprised about is that Ethereal Barrage has been left alone. I guess Ethereal Barrage is disproportionately affected by the Sharpshooter nerf, but thank you for the gifted sub, Naughty Fist. Thanks so much. Closer to the monk video. Thank you. But yeah, like The Divine stance will got the double nerf and Divine Barrage nerf. A triple nerf even. The Divine one is like Divine Caldera nerf, Divine Defiance nerf, Divine Barrage nerf. And for the Ethereal Sharpshooter stance, you only got the Sharpshooter nerf. The Ethereal Barrage is the same. Divine Caldera obviously is part of it too, but it's strange to me because it was actually Sharpshooter plus Ethereal that was like the go-to build, and that one was nerfed less. I again, when I said for the EK, I expect Exori min changes. For the Paladin, I'm probably expecting Ethereal Barrage nerfs down the line. Maybe that second perk in the wheel, which gives you 10% crit chance, that maybe will be nerfed like 8 or 5 down the line, as well as maybe the base damage of Ethereal Barrage. I'm not saying it's definite, but if the second nerf does hit the servers, then I would think that's probably where the Paladin focus is going to be. Anyways, yeah, fairly significant buff nerf to the Paladin, about 20% nerf on the Sharpshooter and the Divine stances. Will be noticeable for sure. But again, not exactly like game breaking, I would say. I mean, they were too strong. I think this is ultimately, in a totally unbiased, fully unbiased opinion, I think it's probably fair. And I think Paladins shouldn't be, too upset with it. It's significant, but they were too strong. Come on. They were too strong, okay? Now, Sorcerer. Here is another unbiased take. Obviously, I'm going to be unbiased, but they ruined Sorcerer, dude. 100% unbiased. Sorcerer in the gutter. What are you doing, Tipsoft? Sort your shit out, please. And on a more serious note, let's just go for the changes first. So Beam Mastery, damage bonus. Thanks so much for the Prime sub, Think. Beam Mastery nerf, damage bonus reduced from 40, 60, 80 to 25, 40, 70. So here, I feel like this is a little weird. So the 80 to 70, I think is fine. I mean, this is about, 12% nerf, right? It's about 12.5%, something like that, absolute nerf. That's fine. But I'm really surprised about these changes. From 40 to 25, by the way, it's like a 40% nerf. 60 to 40 is a 33% nerf. And then 80 to 70 is like a 12% nerf. So I do think that tier 3 Beam Mastery, honestly, still very, very good. But T1 and T2 Beam Mastery, which, you're going to have from like level 300 to level 1000 if you're going to be going for Beam Mastery. It's a big range. I don't know that it's that good. I think it's not that good. In addition to this, we've also got the second line where the beams were nerfed 15 base power, or approximately like 9%. So you've got a 9% base damage nerf. And in addition to this, you've got the Beam Mastery, like 40% nerf in T1, T2. I don't know that beams are going to be good enough to use until T3 Beam Mastery after these changes. The Death rotation may just skip the Death Beam and just use like a Death Echo and Fire Wave rotation, maybe with an Energy Wave as well. Fire rotation will just use Fire Wave, and Death Echo. But I don't know about the energy rotation. In energy rotation, you still kind of have to use Energy Beam. So I guess maybe that's the only one where you go for the Beam Mastery. But it's going to be miserable, dude. If you have T1 Beam Mastery and you're hitting on the side beams for 25%, it's going to be like tickling monsters, dude. It's I don't know. I would have, honestly, I would have preferred to see like 30, 50, 70. Maybe that would have been a little bit better. I think 25 and 40... it's very harsh on the T1 and T2. The T3, I think, is fine. T1, T2, a little harsh. Then we've got the Death Echo nerfs as well. We've got a base damage reduced from 85 to 75, which I believe is approximately like a 12% nerf. Very significant. I mean, they sprinkled a little constellation price and giving you 8 to 12% in the Augment 2, so extra 4% base power, still a nerf, even if you do pick that up. So that is significant too. I think you still use it, though. I think you still use it. I think it's still a very nice spell. I think even with this nerf, you probably still use it as part of basically every rotation. Unless you're team hunting. Now, you probably drop it if you're team hunting. But then you've got the beams as well for the team hunting. I don't know. Energy Wave is still, like, amazing. Fire Wave, relatively, is probably a little bit better now, even though it was never that good anyway. I don't know. I think Death Echo is probably still fine, but it is a significant nerf as well. And then you've got the mana buffer multiplier increased from 8 to 10. I'm okay with this as well. Mana buffer very, very strong. It saved me so many times already so far. Yeah, as long as they don't change the mechanics of it, I think this is okay. So there's Sorcerer. I think it has disproportionately hit like this level sort of 300 to 1000 the most. I think below level 300 this doesn't matter, right? Because you don't use beam mastery, which is hardest hit. Beams you don't even use that often anyway, because they were like just one beam, not this 10% base damage, and not that significant. I think below level 300 you're not too bad. The Death Echo is still going to be good. So yeah, until level 300 MS probably still fine. Is this level 300 to 1000 that was hit the most? And past like 1k, once you can get like tier 3 beam mastery, you're probably still more or less okay, but obviously still probably like 5 to 7 or 8% nerfed overall as your power. So it's okay, but it is a significant nerf. But again, like we always said, sorcerers and paladins were very, very strong and the absolute top tier vocations. So shouldn't be, too surprised to see this. So again, in a totally unbiased take, I think largely it's okay. I would have personally preferred to see the T1 and T2 beam mastery nerf be a little lower, because honestly, 25%, it feels so bad to run tier 1 beam mastery now. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't know. Do you even bother with T1 beam mastery, or do you just forget it? I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Yeah, it's all right though. I still think it's still okay. Now, moving on, Druid. We've got the expected approximate 7-8% forks base damage nerf. Exactly what I expected, to be honest. I mean, I am not surprised about this. One bit, fully expected. People coping, saying they're going to switch to runes now. God bless. You go switch to runes if you want. I know that I'm still going to be using the forks. If you want to use runes, be my guest, bro. But that's your choice. And then we've got the strong ice wave slight base power nerfed as well. Again, not terribly surprised. That was also something I expected that might get nerfed. So pretty expected. Mana buffer, also same as the sorcerer. It's significant here, this multiplier, but it's still okay, I think. And yeah, overall, I don't know. Overall, Druid is probably still okay, right? Again, Druid was a little worse overall than Sorcerer and Paladin, so he's seeing slightly less significant nerfs. So we had like RP and MS, and then EK and Druid below, and RP and MS probably got lowered to like the pre-nerf ED and EK power, and EK and ED were nerfed a little bit just below that again. I still fully actually expect, even with all these changes, that RP and MS are still top tier, and Druid and EK are just ever so slightly below, but the gap is closing. The gap, I think the gap between them is probably smaller now. And then there's Monk. Well, at least it's not nerfed. Yo, at least it's not nerfed. It's not nerfed. All right? It's not nerfed. You're good. You are much closer now. You are much closer now to the other 4 vocations than you were before. The gap is closing. The gap is closing. The gap is totally closing. But yeah, I mean, this is just the initial range, so it's not the jump range. And also, this is like weird radius 3. It's actually like radius 3, because they count like the monk as radius 1, so it's only 3 SQM anyway. So it's not very huge. But just very quickly, in addition to this, we also have the fixes and changes here. We fixed an issue that prevented virtues from affecting the monk. I believe this is the passive bonuses in a party. So if you're going to be in a party, you will actually benefit from the augment of other bonuses now. So that is huge for Team Hunt. Then we've got an issue of Chivalrous Challenge. I'm not sure what that issue was. Inconsistent behavior of Death Echo and targeting through doors. So this should be good. This should mean they stop cutting off the Death Echo, so it's actually a little buffed. Charm on Great Potion irrelevant, and this irrelevant as well. So yeah, overall, I think I'm trying to be as unbiased and as honest as possible. Considering the power level of the vocations after the rebalance, majority of these changes I think are okay. And if I'm going to be super honest, I don't think this is the end of it. Clown me all you want. You can clown me all you want, but I don't think this is the end of it. I think it's still fairly likely that between 4 to 10 weeks from now, you might see like an Exori Min nerf on the Knight, Ethereal Barrage nerf on the Paladin, maybe Energy Wave nerf on the Sorcerer, maybe, I don't know, on the Druid. The Druid might be okay, I think. And the Monk. The Monk is great. Don't worry about the Monk. Anyways, I think that pretty much sums up the patch notes, plus my thoughts on it.